off to work Monday morning. Every one day a week, the boy I'm supporting has like just a bad day, you know, says he's feeling poorly and wants to go home, and take him to the medical office, no fever, not going home, not calling mum, and then he starts like changes tactic and then starts crying and sobbing, and then maybe doing some shouting, and he'll say things like, oh, my old teachers used to call my mum, I'm so ill. And I just said, I can tell when you're not being honest. And he goes, how? Because he uses his situation sometimes to get what he wants. So before I came, he just didn't go to music because he said it was kind of overwhelming, because he's very sensitive to kind of sounds and cheering and shouting and that kind of thing. But got him back to music, and I've got a good understanding with his teachers, the fact that we don't placate him and just kind of give him the Chromebook and let him do what he wants. Sometimes that looks like him throwing a tantrum and shouting sometimes, but it's worth it in the long run. And now he's kind of raised his standards of behaviour and gets a lot more done. You just get into the routine of just placating and just, okay, well, I can't be bothered with this, just give him the Chromebook or just let him go home. It's just a cycle, it doesn't end. But he's a lovely young boy, very bright, and I'm really enjoying it. It helps having very good teachers. I work in a classroom just supporting one boy, but there's a lot more to do. And the teachers, there's a job share Monday to Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday. They're so good, and I don't need to plan anything. I don't need to I just can turn up and just go along with the day, and it's fun being alongside a year 4 class. We're doing DT this week, salad making, so they've gone home and they've got all these different ingredients that they need to get off their parents to make a salad. And it's sports day on Friday, and there's always stuff going on. It's fun. Not a great day today. The teacher is absent, ill, so we had another teaching assistant covering the class today. And the reason I'm so complimentary about the teachers is that any little slip in standards behaviourally, the boy I'm working with, he's autistic and ADHD, so if there's if the class is more disruptive, it just amplifies everything and it makes everything so much more volatile. And today it was just a little bit tricky for everyone, and I was having to she was asking me questions like, this girl was playing with this slime, and she's like, is Mr. Morton, is she allowed that? I was like, oh God, because they're not allowed slime, but this girl's allowed Theraputty as a kind of concentration aid. And they're not allowed slime, but then they add water to it, and it like so it gets more slimy. And I don't know whether she's allowed it or not. So they're always kind of trying to bring in slime and little bits of hand spray and things like that. Like this girl was spraying hand spray at a moth on the wall at playtime, and then this crowd were like forming like, kill it, kill it, kill it. And then this other group were forming like, let it live, let it live. And there was just these like posses basically. And at playtime, I'm on duty, but I just avoid everything. So if they're not hurting each other, I just walk away. Because there's just all these kind of disputes that you're supposed to mediate. Like this kid comes over to me, he's like, Daniel's not want to play. He said he couldn't play with us, and then he took our ball, and then he didn't give us a ball, and then he said we couldn't play with him, but it's not even his turn. And I'm just like, oh God, go away. There's nothing I can do here. So I just kind of nod along and pretend. I was like, hey, right, who's your teacher? Okay, all right, I'll have a word. You did the right thing. But generally, it's just a very funny place, generally. This age children, they are just quite amusing, really. Like, they're not allowed to go to the toilet without an adult's permission, so I'm the safe bet to ask to go to the loo. So they'll come to me and like really start pleading, like they'll come over in like real distress, like, oh, can I please go to the toilet? And like, it's such a funny situation. And I'll be like, yeah, go on. But then you'll notice that they'll have gone out just at the same time as one of their friends who will have asked a separate adult. So they'll have gone to the toilet for a little catch up in the loo. So you have to be wary of these kind of tricks. And this is the leisure centre car park. As you can see, it's quite handy. Someone with my needs. I'm going to give that less than 2 minutes. Alright, that's way too much water. Unfortunately, I've got a class I need to get to, so didn't really go to plan. Well, it's not good. It's got the consistency of spaghetti hoops, just kind of mush, but it's edible. Oh, it's not a disaster. This will actually solve a lot of problems. One genre of person that I've become acquainted with: people that sit in their car with the engine on. It's warm weather, but I just don't get it. It's a bloody good laugh. This car park is locked at 10, so all that lot are locked out. Unfortunately, the train track runs across this car park, so it's a bit noisy. This place, on the other hand, this is one of the very few high quality, premium, secluded park-ups in the area. That was an intense day. Well, substitute teacher was in again today, which always, as we've talked about, elevates everything a little bit. And then we had salads on the side just as the class was going on, so I was having to kind of manage all the salads. People were coming in with different pots of like olives and cheese and watermelon and grapes for their weird salads, and I had to get it all done and all cleaned up, and I was kind of I caught myself being a little bit militant about like watching someone just try and cut this cherry tomato as I've got to get through everyone. It's like, hurry up. And while this is going on, there's always something going on. Like this guy's like, I was like, what is it? And it's like, they're moving the table. The girls next to him were moving the table so it didn't line up perfectly, so he's kind of like, and you're just trying to, like, this is on top of everything else that's going on. That's why I could walk into this job. It's because it's a troubled classroom there. First teacher left at Christmas, their substitute or their teaching assistants moved on. It's like, that's what you get mid-season. Sam Allardyce isn't walking into like well-functioning motivated dressing rooms. He's walking in to some drama, basically. He's got to kind of tell some people off, or have to put some arms around shoulders. That's sometimes what's required. That's what Allardyce has to do sometimes. That's just horrific. There's going to be no one there. Perfect. When I got back from my latest car camping trip in Spain, it was time that I kind of stopped just travelling about, and I thought about getting back into the food business. There's this vegan cafe near my mum's, and they're only open 2 days a week, so I thought maybe go and speak to them, use their kitchen. Maybe they do supper clubs, so I could kind of host one of an evening and just kind of see how it goes, maybe do some takeaways from there without the big commitment of, like, you know, starting a whatever. But I went to visit them with the intention of speaking with the guy, and it was like Friday afternoon, the one day they opened for lunch, and no one was there, and he was kind of looking out the window in hope and despair, I guess. Reminded me of my dad staring out the window of his restaurant, just kind of looking at passers-by. You're all running a business like that. You're in a perpetual state of striving for some kind of stability and peace of mind that never happens. It never arrives. You're just constantly chasing. And when the headmaster of this school called me, I'd forgotten about the application at that point. They'd actually rejected me, but I guess they'd had a reshuffle. And when he called up, I'd completely gone off the idea. I was like, yeah, I'm still available. And then when I went for the interview, just hearing the kids screaming, I was like, oh no, what have I done? My peaceful life, what am I doing? But I've really enjoyed it. I had no kind of belonging anywhere, just life in the periphery, and now I'm right in the middle of something quite fun. But I won't be staying there. I applied for teacher training, which I start in September. It was a tricky decision. I would have liked to stay on just because it's quite an easy job, quite a nice age group. But just being an assistant, I think it's a bit lame. Like, the teachers I work with, they're young mothers, they've got kids, and they're like managing all this stuff as well. So I think I can take a lot more on. So I went for an interview last week for teacher training. I got on the job. I got on the course. I'm going to be training as a biology teacher, which I don't have a degree in, but they let me do a subject assessment as part of the interview. So I've been cramming biology for the last 2 weeks, and the test was quite easy in the end. So that's what I'll be doing, just at a school nearby. In September, they emailed me this afternoon and got a placement just around the corner. So it's good, it's all fallen into place nicely. But I'm very grateful for this job as a little leg up. It's like they had their class assembly last week, and they were doing this habitat thing. It was just I just laugh at the situations I find myself in. Like, I was looking after the wings, like helping them backstage get ready for when they come on, and I was just crouched down with all the school behind watching, and there's like people dressed as a little frog and a little kind of whale and a spider, and they're all like whispering to each other, and I'm kind of crouched down, and they're all like getting ready, and it's such a funny scene to be a part of. And yeah, I mean, if I had the choice now, I would teach primary just because it's so funny. But I will be doing secondary school just because it gives me the option of then going back down if I want to, and I get a bursary, 26,000, for training as a biology teacher. I have to pay 10,000 for the training, so that's 16,000 I'll get as a kind of living wage, which is similar to my salary, if you could call it that, at the moment. But that is the good thing about being able to live this lifestyle and being comfortable doing things like this. It means I can get £1,000 a month from this job and it still be decent money, because I don't spend money on rent. So that's it. That's the freedom to take low paid work, and it's good. So see you later. No part of me is looking forward to eating this. As I was planning my food business, like just kind of ruminating, it would have just been so much kind of planning and lonely work. Whereas now, I can start my life straight away. Golf, peace of mind, finish work. I've still got that freedom now, freedom of mind, without the burden of wondering what to do now. So now I have even more freedom now, mentally, than I did before. It's not terrible. Sometimes I wish I was a bit more precise, you know? I'm not bad, but I'm kind of... don't put the lid on properly, and then it knocks over and I spill it, and then I think, would I have as much fun? Are people who are very careful also a bit dull? Overcooked pasta is still punishing me. Come still gets down to double sleeping bag temperature in the evenings, which is nice. Get all warm and cozy, but very nice evening temperatures this time of year. No bugs, it's just perfect.